Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be going over Ben Roethlisberger. We're going to be looking at some Ben Roethlisberger film, and we're going to be talking about why he's not washed. He's got a little bit left in the tank, and I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. Before we get started, though, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. That really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So with all of these film analysis videos that I do, I start with the stats. And if we look at the PFF metrics for a second, Ben Roethlisberger finished the season with a 69.0 PFF player grade. That was 24th among quarterbacks, so not great. But when we look at the stats a little bit more in detail, you can see that he struggled, right? His grade from a clean pocket was number 31 out of 32. Grade under pressure, 28 out of 32. He didn't have a great season. And the real thing that was interesting for him was the difference between the first 11 games and the last 5 games of the season, right? So obviously started the season off really well. They were 11-0, and after that they just went downhill really quickly. Could not get any wins, and a big part of that was because of the Steelers' inability to throw the ball deep, and that was because they didn't have a run game. Their offensive line was broken, and I'll throw up the heat map here for a sec, where you can see the routes and the targets where Big Ben was throwing to, and you can see all these targets are within 2 or 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. There wasn't much depth to any of these targets, and with that said, now let's just take a look at his stats. I mean, he still had a solid year, throwing for 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions on a 65.6% completion percentage. But really, the inability for the Steelers offense to get any run game going and for that offensive line to be really successful really hurt Ben Roethlisberger because he was throwing 5-yard outs every play, and that wasn't going to really help that offense move forward. The reason for that was because there wasn't any run game to help support the play action game, and there wasn't time to throw those deeper routes. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger was throwing the ball quicker than anyone in the NFL. He was getting the ball as quickly as possible, and a big reason was that there wasn't any run game. There wasn't any pass protection up front, really. So overall, it's really important for Ben Roethlisberger to really have a better season next year. But I think he can because he still has some left in the tank. And now let's dive into the film analysis. So let's start with the positives. And here, it's all about the signature Ben Roethlisberger pump fake. So as he takes the snap here, right, what he wants Juju Smith-Schuster, who's going to run basically through the middle of the field to the back of the end zone over here. And as you can see, it's going to be in between the safeties, as the safeties are going to be playing here. Juju's going to kind of run through that, and Big Ben wants, hold this safety. He wants to hold this safety. So what he does here is the classic Ben Roethlisberger, which is basically, look to your left, and as Juju Smith-Schuster is running behind the safety, he wants to pull the safety up, so he pump fakes, thinking that it's going to go to this receiver, and that brings this safety flat-footed, allows for Juju Smith-Schuster to get in behind, and then Big Ben has that accuracy, especially deep and with touch too, to just get it there to Juju Smith-Schuster in front of this defender and behind this defender, and that's a touchdown. Really smart play here by Big Ben using the pump fake. He did that his entire career. He's still being able to do that, and that's one of the reasons why he's not washed. He's still using what he has, and he's still being successful with it. Now, although I will admit that Big Ben doesn't have the same deep ball strength anymore, he doesn't have that. Okay, he doesn't have that. He still has the ability to throw the deep ball, and here's a situation where we see that. And he can throw the deep ball with accuracy and with touch. And you see, as the pressure's coming, the pocket's closing, he feels that, and he's looking over here to his right side, and he sees that his receiver, Chase Claypool's one-on-one with the outside corner, and simply he understands that there's space in behind because this safety is playing in the middle of the field, which means that he would have been here to start the throw, which means there's all the space to throw into, and Big Ben is smart with the football, and he just simply sees that space, throws into that space, and then you've got a touchdown here for Chase Claypool. That's a perfect throw, perfect catch there by Big Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he doesn't have that elite arm strength anymore. He doesn't have that good arm strength anymore, but he's still got the ability to put the throws where they need to be, especially on those deeper balls, on those deeper passes. And it wasn't his inability to throw the deep ball. That wasn't an issue for the Steelers last year. Yeah, sure, he didn't throw the deep ball as well as he has in previous years when he's had MVP-like seasons. But nonetheless, he doesn't have a noodle arm, okay? He doesn't have, the strongest arm at this point in his career, but at the same time, at age, 38, 39, I think he's 39 now, or he will be going to his age 39 season next year, he still has that ability to throw the deep ball, which is another reason why he still has some of it left in the tank. He's still able to throw that deeper ball, and especially with accuracy, too. Next up, though, it's another situation where Big Ben still has it. The thing here is, let's just look at the game situation. 3rd and goal, second quarter, there's going to be pressure coming, and as you can see, the pressure is coming, pocket is collapsing, there's no one blocking here or here, so Big Ben is just so crafty, and I'm saying he's not mobile. This guy is arguably the least mobile quarterback in the entire league, maybe besides Tom Brady. I don't even know. Tom Brady can throw on the run, but Big Ben Roethlisberger here, he just steps up in the pocket, simply just throws, touchdown, and that's just his feel for the game. I mean, he's such a veteran guy where he knows where the pressure's coming from, he knows where the pressure isn't coming from, he knows where he can move to, and he knows where to step up. And when he steps up, he does it with power, he does it with finesse, and then he's just able to throw this nice silky touchdown pass to the back corner of the end zone. And this is just smart veteran move here, has the pocket presence and pocket poise to stay in there, take a little bit of a hit here, and just throw that ball, just throw the ball where it needs to be. The accuracy is there, it's still there from Ben Roethlisberger. And although the great arm strength and the elite arm power and arm talent isn't there anymore, he still has the ability to get the job done with his bigger frame, bigger size, and his ability to just feel the game. This is a situation where he feels the game really well, throwing this touchdown pass to the back corner of the end zone. And personally, I think this play is really good in showcasing why Big Ben is not washed, because players that are washed can't really make this throw to an elite level. And basically what happens here is this receiver in the slot here, that's going to be Chase Claypool, is pretty much going to run a seam route right through the middle of the two safeties who are both in cover. It's a cover two defense, basically, with man coverage everywhere. That's basically the defense. And Big Ben knows that. And he knows that Chase Claypool can beat his guy and just run right through the middle of the defense. And then Big Ben can just throw that ball over the top. And as we see the play progress for a sec, let's just see the play progress for a sec. As you can see, right, he's able to throw it in between this safety and this safety with touch and over the head of the defender. And he just simply leads Chase Claypool there. Perfect throw, on the money, accurate, and then that's a touchdown. And that's exactly what you want to see from Ben Roethlisberger. He can make these 25, 30-yard passes with real accuracy and with real touch that sets his receivers up in good situations to go make big plays. And that's another reason why Big Ben isn't rushed. And that's another reason why Big Ben isn't washed. He can still put his receivers in big places for them to go out and make big plays. And that's exactly what he does here. However, at the same time, Big Ben isn't perfect, and he has made mistakes, and he does continue to make mistakes. And this is a good situation where he does make a mistake, where I'll show you what pretty much happens. And sometimes it's his lack of vision at times that does, stop him from being really successful. In this situation, it's really simple. There's pressure in his face. He ends up throwing an interception. I think I have a better angle of it here. I have a better angle of it here. But as you see, he basically drops back, and he is trying to get this receiver. I think that's actually Eric Ebron there on this route. He's just trying to come over here behind this linebacker, and Big Ben is kind of just looking at him. He's looking at him the entire time. He knows he wants to go there, and that allows for Taki to read that too, and for him to see that. And basically what happens is Big Ben just doesn't see the linebacker in Taki. He just doesn't. And it's a bad throw, and he doesn't see him, and that's the number one issue with Big Ben. A lot of the interceptions from last season were because he simply just did not see the defender. He didn't see the defender, or he underthrew a route on a deeper pass. But overall, it's because he didn't see a defender. And this is just one of those situations where he just needs to do a better job either getting that window, where he could probably throw it in there maybe. I don't think he's quite has the arm strength to do that anymore. But at the same time, just waiting on it and just being a little bit more patient at times, and instead of throwing a costly interception. Although this is at this point in the game in the playoffs, the game was pretty much over. Nonetheless, it still hurts in the situation because you don't want to be throwing interceptions. So that's that in this situation. And another situation is another situation where he makes a mistake. This is going to be another interception, and pretty much he's trying to basically go to this receiver here on the outside. So it's going to be one-on-one between these two guys, and he's pretty much going to run this route. And I don't know if this is Big Ben misdiagnosing the defense, because at a time, I think it might be, because he might think this is man coverage where he's here, he's lined up here, he's lined up here, and then they've got some sort of thing over here going on with some sort of zone there. But nonetheless, this is zone coverage, and you'll see that in a second when I, just move this, because you can see this is an obvious zone, 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 this is an obvious zone. And you've kind of got these two linebackers here. But what Big Ben wants is he wants to throw into the situation. But really, what he's doing here is he wants this receiver, and he wants him to be right about there to just throw into there. But he doesn't see the defender here. I think that's Mackenzie Alexander. But basically what happens is as he comes over, as he comes over and he starts to cover this guy, Big Ben just believes that he's just going to stick with him, when in fact, he's just going to let him pass through, let the other guy take him, and then he's just going to sit there in that coverage. And as you can see, he's just going to sit there in that coverage, as you can see right there. And Big Ben, at this point, he's already going to throw the football, trying to get the ball to him. And as he just sits in that coverage, as you can see right there, it just simply ends up being an interception. It's undercut, and he just doesn't see the defender. And like, once again, it's just another one of those situations where he just simply did not see the defender trying to force a throw. He doesn't quite have that same arm strength to the point of being able to fit that ball in there when there's really nowhere to fit that ball into. And this is less so of a big Ben Roethlisberger mistake rather than just game situation and time left and issues with that. But at the end of the day, like, this is a situation where the pocket collapses, and Big Ben can probably still make that throw. He could probably still make that throw, but the pressure's in his face, and he's not able to complete that. And I think I have a better angle of it right here. Yeah, this is a good angle right here. But basically, as Big Ben senses the pressure in his face, I mean, there's pressure right on him. He has to anticipate this throw, and it's not in a great situation. He knows that this receiver is going to just go in behind, and then he's going to have to force that there. And that's a tight window throw. Really, I would have preferred him to make this read to his left over here, which he doesn't. If he sees that, this Deontay Johnson's beating his man and there's space to throw into under here, he probably should be throwing that ball over there, probably should be throwing it into that open space. But nonetheless, he doesn't. He decides to go here, and that's okay, except it's just pressure in his face, can't make the throw. And you know what? That happens when you get older. You're unable to stay in that pocket for as long, feel as comfortable, and he just tries to get out a little early, still gets pretty hit, goes to the ground a little hard, but I would have probably liked to see him, go over here with that release there. I think Deontay Johnson would have had some open space to work with. But overall, like, he's he's probably making the wrong read. This is going to be a tight window throw. That's probably not going to even happen, even if that ball's thrown in a good spot. But you know what? It's just pressure in the face. I mean, that was an issue with the Steelers' offensive line last year. They were not good at keeping Big Ben on pressure. Big Ben had to throw the football the fastest out of any quarterback in the NFL. Though he only got sacked 13 times, there was a lot of pressure in his face. This is a good instance of that, especially with this is simply a 4-man rush. It's nothing more than a 4-man rush, and there's pressure on a 4-man rush, and you're trying to win a game, and that's not going to go well. So at the end of the day, like, once again, this is another big Ben Roethlisberger mistake, but I don't think he's washed, and I'll get to that in a second why. So with that said, I mean, I've showed you the Big Ben film, and I think the things that you really want to see from him there in the pros section is his ability to still throw the deep ball with accuracy and with touch. And although he doesn't quite have that same arm power yet, he might be washed in the regard where he's not the same player as he was 5 years ago. I still think he's got the arm strength to throw the ball deeper downfield, right? He's still got that arm strength, he's still got the accuracy, he's still got the pocket poise, the pocket presence, and he's got the veteran leadership. And also, if you simply just look at the stats for a second, I mean, he threw for just shy of 4,000 yards in 15 games. He would have gotten to 4,000 yards if he played 16 games. He threw for 33 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Those are great stats on 65.6% completion percentage. The real issue for him, though, last year was the Steelers' offense. There wasn't a run game. The offensive line was almost non-existent. He had to get the ball out so quickly where he couldn't, especially in those last few games, they couldn't go for those deeper routes. There was no offensive creativity. It was all 5-yard outs, 6-yard outs because the offensive line wasn't holding up. There wasn't any run game. So they had to go with this short intermediate passing game to pick up those in-between yards. And, the defense wasn't covering past 10 yards because the defense could easily get pressure on Big Ben after 2 seconds with a 4-man rush because the offensive line was really bad. And with that said, you can't go deep. You can't play deeper routes if there's no offensive line holding the pressure up. So I think that Big Ben still has it left in the tank. I don't think he's still as good as he was a few years ago, but I don't think he's washed. I think he still has a solid season left under the belt. I think he has another season left in the tank. He could still go for another year. I think he could still lead a team to the playoffs. I mean, this defense is going to be really good next year. They're going to be good every year with guys like TJ Watt on it. And I mean, they've got some young, talented players on the defense. But on the offensive side of the football, I think Big Ben still has the attributes and the traits to get the job done. He can still throw the deep ball. He can still be accurate with the football. He can still be smart with the football. He just needs to see the field a little bit better. And that's a byproduct of bad offensive line play in front of him. So if the Steelers really add a real running game this offseason and maybe another good offensive lineman, then I think Big Ben Roethlisberger will have a resurgence next year, and we'll see the Steelers have a little bit more success in 2021. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.